Chapter 41. Crewman Miscavige pressed several buttons as the bright green screen accepted commands, setting the external automated navigation system to a control orbit around Midpoint Hotel. During nights such as this, she could see every tiny light in every conceivable color from the massive cities below as they grew smaller. Then the curvature of Earth itself as she rose over and upward. The engines of her single-person reconnaissance craft groaning in resistance of gravity. Initiating scan, she reported to the green screen, which now showed Pierre Gonzalez carefully watching. Miscavige's ship finally arrived, giving her the complete view of the former foyer as it was still disintegrating into flames, far away and on the atmospheric horizon. "My lord, what's happening?" the supervisor demanded. "Just saw debris of the foyer's expulsion." "Yeah, not good. We have no idea here at Control why it happened. Hence, why I'm waiting, why we sent you. What are the scans picking up?" Miscavige skipped through the several screens until she arrived at a thermal scan. 3 humans, 2 youth, and 1 elderly. 1 female, male, and 1... Gonzalez rubbed his eyes in impatience. "One what?" "I don't know, sir. It's humanoid, but..." "But not human, yes, I know," a British voice blurted out over her comm channel. Before Miscavige could say anything, her supervisor was shouting, "Excuse me, just who the hell is this? This is a secure..." A man with crazy blue eyes and platinum blonde hair suddenly appeared in the readout screen in front of her, shoving his way through the visual channel, haphazardly sharing the space with Pierre Gonzalez. The picture was wall-eyed, as if this bizarre stranger was filming himself from his watch or some kind of handheld recorder. "It's me," the stranger said to Gonzalez. "We're all fine. All the kids are fine." "Thank God," the supervisor replied. "We lost contact from your end. It's been severed by the source, and from what I see..." "You cannot stop the detonation sequence. I've rather found that out myself the hard way." There was long silence. "We don't know how or why it started. That is correct," Pierre Gonzalez finally answered. "However, I've sent crewman Miscavige there to lend assistance." Miscavige said, "This craft can't handle more than 1 other person. Perhaps 2, but it's too small for 3 people. 4, corrected the stranger. "Right, and why are you not registering as human?" Miscavige asked. 5, the stranger in the blue suit corrected once more. "If you plan on giving a lift to the rocket here." "What the hell are you talking about?" Gonzalez urged. "I have no other eyes here, okay? Miscavige, give me a damn report." Miscavige reported exactly what she saw. 4 beings standing in the lobby in the front of what my readings are telling me is the entire rapid complement, holding on some sort of deviating humanoid form. Pierre Gonzalez addressed the stranger. "Look, I don't know how you got there or why, but I can't leave you and 2 kids and their grandpa with this sophisticated robot's construction technology which has become unstable. Plus, the fact that we are all about to be imploded. I know, I'm with you. The only problem is that it appears the Rapid are blocking our way and won't let us move." "The Rapid can't become aggressive." The supervisor shook his head. "They're not programmed to..." "They're living beings," the stranger shouted. Miscavige was stunned to see her supervisor, Pierre Gonzalez, quieted by this. The stranger continued when he was sure his audience was captive. "I know the entire dark story about it, yet I'm getting the distinct feeling that they want to tell me their side. I need you to leave me and let me handle this. I swear to you, I can figure this out and get these kids home. Just give me a chance." The supervisor Gonzalez again shook his head, thinking. Finally, with a deep breath, he uttered, "No." "Oi, bloody..." "No." Pierre Gonzalez shouted loud enough to hurt crewman Miscavige's ear. "The Rapid technology is property of the Midpoint Hotel and associated with confederations. It will be..." You're making a big mistake here. You're making a serious mistake here. It will be. The supervisor yelled over the obstinate traveler in the Aegean suit. Taken offline immediately by crewman Miskovich. She will board and make visual inspection, then a recommendation. I'm more than you. This is an awful idea. Crewman Miskovich shook her head, growing impatient. She stabbed her finger at the screen, right on the forehead of the alien with its blue azure eyes. How do I know you again? Well, you don't. Exactly, she fired. The ensnarement missiles outside the charge flashed and dissipated as it passed through the Midpoint Hotel's force field, keeping it intact. It then rapidly deployed a small explosion, sending out several dozen laser beams, rays of hot pink and fuchsia, which zipped and flashed their way through the hotel, seeking their target. Oh, you stupid monkeys! Mr. Blue grumbled to himself. He had been trying in desperation to create some rudimentary translator on his temporal wrist device to communicate with Rapid. No avail. And the Time Lord simply didn't have a spare moment to decipher the complex fractals and geometric patterns which the Rapid Collective was displaying. The nanotechnological explorers appeared desperate to want to communicate, even taking the approximate shape of humans. Sully had one hand on both of the children's shoulders, attempting to stand guard over them in the face of this fluctuating silver and metal creature which stood before them, a swirling madness of gray and steel, wobbling about, trying to emulate a man. It just looked like a molten robot. Oh, Dawn said, looking behind the Rapid Collective. What's all that pink light? Is that a rescue shuttle here? Pete pulled away from Sully, peeked around the big silver creature, at the beautiful blush and rose of taffy colors which were rapidly filling the lobby. Nice! Suddenly, the Time Lord spun around and dove on the three standing behind him, tackling Sully, Dawn, and Pete to the floor. Behind Mr. Blue, the ensnarement rays, all neon pink and salmon, furiously slashed around the Rapid, shearing about, circling the gray metal creature in the bright, strobing flashes. The lasers constructed upon the Rapid, closing in and crushing it. Everything became extremely loud. Sully covered the kids, expecting an explosion. The Time Lord tensed as well. The beams of rouge tightened and turned white, becoming hotter, more intense. The Rapids suddenly shrunk so fast that the ensnaring rays wobbled, the lasers clashing against themselves with ambient hissing. The Rapid then expanded, violently shattering the patterns of the rays until they became unstable. The lasers disappeared, absorbed by the Rapids as it grew in size to a gigantic beast. It was pure steel muscle and gray metal armor fluctuating and morphing like liquid. The pink energy it absorbed from the ensnarement rays crackled throughout the entire humanoid body of the silver behemoth, pulling it into its massive robotic hand. The Rapid's mammoth claw charged bright, hot pink. It fired a single, horrifyingly pure, concussive blast of rouge electricity, all the energy of the entire ensnarement missile. No! Mr. Blue shouted. Crewman Miskovich banked right a split second before the impact of the redirected energy wave. Her ship was seared on the left front quarter panel. Her thermal intake valve instantly ignited, setting her left engine ablaze. Immediately, she extricated from the midpoint's force field, her thruster on fire, her ship barely functional. Status report now, her supervisor was screeching. All she could think about was getting her damn ship on the ground in one piece. Oh, you lot! Mr. Blue shouted as he picked himself up. He walked to the preoccupied yet enormous metal monster which towered 3 feet above him. You! 10-man with a can of whoop ass! I'm trying to help! Even turned away, the Rapid in its aggressive form was intimidating. Gigantic and jagged and steel and sharp and metal and wire and muscle and hatred. The Time Lord tapped it on the shoulder. The huge gray beast slowly spun around and looked down at the tiny alien. "I said, I'm here to help." Mr. Blue reared back his hand, his time watch glowing sapphire. Before the Rapid could react, the Time Lord slammed his piercingly bright cerulean fist onto the floor, a shockwave of neon blue blasting outward toward the Rapid, the tremor of which shook the entire Midpoint Hotel. Violently, the enormous steel giant was flung all across the lobby, pulverizing a marble staircase in its wake as the silver metal beast exploded upon contact, shattering it into a billion tiny fragments, dividing the enormous metal monster into individual parts, which buzzed and swarmed chaotically in the air, confused and disoriented. Mr. Blue straightened his azure tie, smiled. "I blasted you with a reverse magnetism arc, taking your ability to transmogrify and solidify into a greater cohesive form. No more glue for you. Are you ready to have a proper conversation now, Rapids?" As Sully, Dawn, and Pete stood in amazement, the rabbits slowly coalesced in front of the Time Lord in the cobalt suit. He acknowledged this, held up a hand. "Come now, one and all, let's get this sorted, shall we?" A portion of the billions of microscopic silver and metal aliens formed a hand and pressed it against his.